Using the unification technique, we solve a problem by using a certain thing in a different way from which it was designed to be used. This fork is usually used for eating, but it can also be used to comb my hair. Oh no! Our monster is in trouble! Water has flooded the area and he's not a very good swimmer. Let's try to think of a way to solve the monster's problem. Did you see that? Ha! The umbrella that is usually used as protection from the rain was used by the monster as a boat. Now, regarding the problem with the Russian fuel tanks, the fumes were considered to be a waste product, and even something that was not good for the system. Using the unification technique, the fumes were used for a different purpose, a positive and useful one. The fumes forced the oxygen out of the fuel tanks to prevent an explosion of the tanks and the aircrafts. The multiplication technique allows us to solve problems by adding another component of the same kind as the one that already exists. Let me show you an example. Once again, we have a problem. The monster won't allow us to pass. Can you think of a way to get past the monster? Well, we use the multiplication technique. We duplicate the monster and then use the duplicated monster to get past the original monster. Ha! When using the multiplication technique, it's important to remember that the duplicated components are usually not identical to the original components. The idea of vaccinating against polio uses the multiplication technique. Salk used the weakened polio viruses to fight the polio disease. Usually, when we look at something that is made up of a few parts, our brain sees it as one whole thing. The brain does this to make it easy on the memory. The division technique teaches us to look at the separate parts of the whole. Sometimes, by looking at the separate parts, we may get an idea about how to solve the problem. Let's take our monster as an example. The monster is in trouble again. It's trapped. What do you think it should do? Well, our monster has one characteristic that is similar to that of a lizard. The person who caught the monster thought he caught the whole thing, but the monster knows the division technique and uses it to escape from danger by separating itself from its tail, like a lizard, yeah? The multi-staged missiles are an example of the division technique. Instead of one missile being made up of only one part, the division technique allows us to break the missile up into smaller parts. By doing this, we decrease its weight and enable it to reach space. The importance of the division technique is that we are encouraged to pay attention to the parts of the whole and to become aware of the possibility of organizing them in a different way. We usually look at the components of a problem in a unified or equal manner. But the breaking unity technique helps us to solve the problem by treating the components differently. Sounds complicated? You'll see that it isn't complicated at all. Let's look at an example. Our monster wants to play a tune on the glasses of water, but all the glasses make the same sound. How will it handle the problem? Let's see. By using the breaking unity technique, a different amount of liquid is put into each glass so that each glass makes a different sound. In this way, our monster can create a melody from the glasses of liquid. The artist Yaakov Agam also used a breaking unity technique in his creation. Agam showed that the unity of the picture could be broken by folding the paper like an accordion and creating a picture that looks different when viewed from different angles of perspective.